Ananya, when you start, just let us know. Okay, thank you. Good evening, all, and a very warm welcome from INYAS and VINYAS, the women scientists of INYAS. I don't want to take much of your time, but right off, I would like to call Dr. Suganda Maheshwari to give a few introductory welcome remarks. Thank you. Over to you, Suganda. Hi, Sugandha. Are you there? You are on mute. Hi, Sugandha. We can't hear you. You're on mute still.
Is it unmuted?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I was not able to click it. I'm sorry. Okay, good evening and a very warm welcome to all present here, those who have joined and those who could join amidst this monsoon and bad networks that we are having. Heading this event as an INYAS member, myself, Dr. Suganda Maheshwari from Department of Mathematics, IIT Roorkee, Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee. I'm very pleased to be announcing this event open under the flagship event called WiSDom, which stands for Women in Scientific Domain. And this event is brought to you by INYAS, Indian National Young Academy of Sciences, the only young academy under aegis of INSA, Indian National Science Academy, which is recognized as a Young Academy of India. And as a secretary member, as a core committee member, I'm very pleased to invite Dr. Rajendra Dhaka, who is chair INYAS and associate professor at Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi. He will tell us more about INYAS and the activities and the theme, followed by Nishad's remarks on the WiSDom events, who is heading this from Apex, who is heading all the events under WiSDom from the Apex. Over to you, Rajendra. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Suganda. Good afternoon, everyone. So on behalf of INYAS, it is my pleasure to welcome our guest speaker in this session, Dr. Diksha Gupta. She is Senior Associate Director, India Strategy and Operation, American Chemical Society. Let me also welcome all participants joined this event through Zoom as well as through INYAS YouTube live streaming. I also welcome all my INYAS colleagues in this event. So as just Suganda said, this event is part of INYAS flagship program named WiSDom, that is Women in Scientific Domain. So before talking about this particular initiative briefly, though Nishad will be telling in more detail, let me briefly tell you about INYAS and its broad mandate. So INYAS stands for Indian National Young Academy of Sciences, which was founded by INSA during 2014-2015. And currently the only recognized academy for young scientists in India. INYAS is a family of 100 plus current members and 45 plus alumni members. Our membership is only for 5 years, and for this year, the membership call will be open from July 15th. So that means from day after tomorrow. So if you are interested, all non-INYAS members present in this platform, please do apply for the membership this year. For INYAS, the vision is to promote science education and outreach, networking among young scientists across India, supporting young scientists in their career development and independence, building scientific temperament across the country and collaboration with other young academies worldwide. We organize many science outreach activities like science camps at school level, awareness workshops at college level, skill development, and competition events for PhDs and postdoc students. We also conduct surveys on different scientific issues faced by young researchers of India, and we publish them as white papers in different journals, as well as we also communicate these different issues to policymakers. So INYAS organizes conferences to have more networking among early career researchers from different areas of research and to encourage multidisciplinary research collaboration. For example, NetFOS, which is supported by PSA office, and every year we organize NetFOS at different places in India. We also celebrate National Science Day, Women's Day, And we also organize scientific awareness events in local languages for the benefit of students and young researchers at the local level. So in this direction, INYAS has taken many new initiatives in recent past. And as you know, one focuses on women in scientific domain, under which this particular event is being organized. So, you know, the main aim of this flagship event is to motivate young women researchers for higher studies and job opportunities in the field of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And, you know, the idea came as it bothers all of us that why only few women researchers at the level of faculty position in India. And INYAS is committed to work towards this and organizing many such events to help and motivate young women researchers. As you can see in this session, young women researchers from INYAS and guest speaker, Dr. Diksha Gupta will be discussing their journey in STEM. We will, of course, will have another offline event for selected young independent women researchers during next month. Through these events, we will be able to inculcate scientific temperament among the young women researchers and motivate them to continue in STEM. I'm confident that all participants in this particular session will be greatly benefited from the experience, and the journey will be shared by members. And we hope that through this flagship event program of INYAS, we will be able to contribute and help young women scholars for their work-life balance. So with this, I wish for a great success of this program and particularly this session today. Thank you all. Over to you, Suganda.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Dhaka. That was a very nice overview on both INYAS and WiSDom. But I think that there is a little bit more that we would like to just share about WiSDom. So for that, I call Dr. Nishad Fatima from CSIR CLRI to give a few words.
Thank you so much, Dr. Durba. The Indian National Young Academy of Science, INYAS, has always been inclusive. Women representation in INYAS core committee is an impressive 55%, with about 30% as overall representation in membership. The WiSDom acronym for the Women in Scientific Domain is the new flagship event of INYAS. We have 3 major events under this, the first of which is happening today. This particular event is titled as Trailblazers. It is targeted at undergraduate and postgraduate students to motivate them with recorded pitches from women scientists of INYAS, whom we call as WINYAS. So these WINYASians will be delivering their recorded pitches now, and they're also present here to take any questions from the audience. And the event coordinators for this are Dr. Durba, who's also moderating the session, and Dr. Kiran. The second event is the iconic women scientists. Basically, we are going to target the school children, including the teachers there. This is to motivate the school children to take up science as a career when they go down by telling stories of female scientists, like the first women PhD, the first women astrophysicists, etc. Now, this is basically to make them connect that, yes, they have the future in their hands, in science, in STEM. And these stories again will be told by WINYASians, and the event coordinators for this are Dr. Meghna and Dr. Jiban. The third event, which is an offline event and it's a workshop, is targeted at early career researchers, which includes the WINYAS members themselves as well. And we have a series of topics lined up, like the work-life balance, the leadership, team building, etc., which is related to women in STEM. And the event coordinators for this are Dr. Pooja and Dr. Nishima. From the core committee of INYAS, we have Dr. Suganda and Dr. Rajni, who are leading this flagship program. And me and Dr. Nishima are overall coordinators for this event. And I sincerely hope that we INYASians succeed in this beautiful journey of motivating young women and girls at every stage of their life. In fact, if you see, we are now targeting the school children, to the undergrad, postgrad kids, to the early career women. So I hope we succeed in this journey of motivating. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nisha. That was really, I think, a very exciting intro to WiSDom. So we are all really looking forward to our journey along the larger flagship event. But for today, we have also a very exciting guest speaker lined up. And for that, I call upon Dr. Kiran Bala to maybe introduce Dr. Diksha Gupta. Kiran, over to you.
Yeah. Yes. Am I audible, Durga?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Hello, everyone. And this is Dr. Kiran Bala. And I feel honored to introduce Dr. Diksha Gupta, who was born and brought up in a small village of Western Uttar Pradesh. She completed her school education in the same village and then moved to AMU, Aligarh Muslim University, for her bachelor's and master's degree in chemistry, which she earned with distinction and 2 gold medals. Then she completed her doctorate degree from IIT Delhi in 2012 and joined GE Silicons, Bangalore, as a consultant. Subsequently, she moved to the City University of New York for her PDF, postdoctoral research. She published her research findings in Journal of International Repute. After postdoctoral stint, decided to switch her career from bench research to scientific publishing and joined RSC, Royal Society of Chemistry, London. She was the first editorial development executive in India and led the efforts to set up RSC efforts in India. In 2016, she joined the American Chemical Society, ACS, and now working as Senior Associate Director there. For India, she is responsible for driving ACS growth in India, including scientific collaborations and several outreach programs for Indian scientific community, even partnering with DST, SERB, etc. She is also on the advisory board of several national committees and panels and institutes. So we are overwhelmed to have Dr. Diksha Gupta with us. I really welcome you, Dr. Diksha Gupta, and we are here to listen to you about your story. Thank you so much for joining us. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kiran Bala, for this elaborated introduction. I was feeling myself little embarrassed to hearing my name so many times and the type of things you get. And this is, really make we women think multiple times, is this the required level of humility is required sometime when we ourselves feel like, is it really I want to hear so much about me? So everything starts from there. So I really don't want to dwell back, what happened 20 years or, 10 years. But few things I really want to share. You all are heroes and, achiever in your field and have been placed at, great institutes and doing fantastic work. So this is really great, to join a cohort of people who came this far and have achieved, learned, and grew significantly. Few things which I wanted to share with this group here, and that helps me every single day. And I hope it could be of some help to all of you. And I wish I had more time in person, so I would be really keen to listening all of your stories. But unfortunately, I have to drop off a little sooner. When we start from a small place, it's good and it's bad both. It's good in a way because we don't have, too many stereotypes and benchmark and limiting factors. So we are free to ideate and imagine things probably that may look a little silly because there is no one to tell you, oh, it's like too much to think or too much to desire or want. And it all starts with, at home and family. So I give a lot of credit to my father, at least, though he was a very conservative man in the terms, you should not go out, should not do these type of things. But he really gave wings, to about a woman can accomplish a lot or why you are equal to anyone. So this sense of being an individual and looking at my gender was always a second thing in my mind. So whenever I was, making my choices, or when I was deciding next thing in my career, it was not very obvious to me thinking about, oh, I'm a woman, is it like something good for me or not? So the decisions were primarily driven by what I really like, where I'm good at, what I need to learn, and of course, what are the best practices, whether being an individual or a woman, when I was, hopping around the location. So moving from a village in Gonda to Aligarh, and, then to Delhi, to Bangalore, to Germany, to US, and then Bangalore and back to Delhi again. So it's like, really circling around the world. But the best practices to navigate things were fairly same everywhere, in every culture, every geography, and, all the similar set of people. Of course, at day-to-day level, when we interact, the cultural nuances can be different, right? How people express things could be different, but human sentiments are very similar. The situation of women across the world is very much similar. And if you see the labor law and the women empowerment law, they are much better in India than any other country. Would you believe we have several weeks paid maternity, which probably we don't have any other country so far, even in the US, which is like the most developed nation. I don't think there is any provision of like a paid maternity leave. So there are a lot of those small things, if you really think about, at least now in India, we have such a phenomenal ecosystem, which, support at government level, at society level. But in the end, it comes to an individual about the choices I want to make and about the chance I want to take and the risk I really want to go through. Something which I learned from my mentor, is like fear. How do we handle fear is very important part. So, especially being a woman, fear of being judged, fear of being ambitious, fear of being liked, fear of being a bad mother, daughter, wife, sister, and everything. And that's a heavy burden. So every single day, I go through to make choice. I have to make a choice. Is it, today I choose to be like, really a great employee versus like a good mother. I have like a 2-year-old. And when I leave him at home, I feel like, it's bad, 5 minutes is, really that feeling. Then I go back, I forget things. I came back home, after 30 minutes, you have another meeting waiting for you. Then you feel like, I just have 30 minutes to, meet him. So let me spend, some interesting time. So it's, really about making choices every single day, every single moment. And even if we don't make choice, there are choices we make subconsciously, right? Even not to choose is like a choice you are making. So it's not simple and it's not easy. So the type of setup we have, I won't say we are literally at the gender equality level where men do thing in kitchen, what we do outside. But still, I think we all are trying to make it a more equitable and, more affordable space in terms of when we pursue our career. So my mantra is that I live things more, in present. I have a direction I want to go, but I necessarily don't map every single step and every single, achievement. Is it really moving into? But at least I make sure I don't do things which I don't like. I make sure I don't want to spend my time, energy, and things which are not adding anything to my journey or, adding a positive experience. I make sure I have a support system, whether it's my partner, my parents, my sibling, my friends, my colleague, or whoever. And I also want to make sure I stay away and keep distance from the people who are necessarily not the part of the ecosystem I want to have. So we need to be a little bit more mindful in terms of choosing what we are ingesting in terms of thoughts, who we are getting influenced with, or what we are allowing within us, to make those choices. So I will just stop saying one word. Please ask yourself what you would do if you were not afraid. And that's my favorite quote. And I ask myself every single day what I would have done, what I will do, and what I'm doing if I'm not afraid. So thank you, everyone. It's great seeing you and wish you all the best. You all are already achievers, but wishing you a great, exciting time to all of you. Thank you, INYAS.
Thank you, Dr. Diksha Gupta. I think you hit upon several aspects that we were hoping to bring across as a part of this event: fear, support system, and individual thoughts, right? But I think one thread that we have during the whole program is that many of the choices that you make, that you talked about, are not choices that are always unique to you. These are choices that come for everybody, and a lot of students who are now in schools and in colleges, they feel that, oh, this choice is mine and mine alone. And then, you don't have role models necessarily who you think have made the same kind of choices or have had to make the same kind of choices, I think it's even true now. You mentioned US. I think US is actually very bad for women in science. But we saw this documentary recently, and I really recommend a lot of you to watch it, called Picture a Scientist. So if you shut your eyes, picture a scientist, who do you see? I think almost everybody in the audience today sees, somebody with crazy white hair and a big beard. You don't see the collage of wonderful scientists we have today here with us. And these are the people, when you are at school and you think, okay, if I want to be a scientist, I have to be someone with crazy hair and a long beard. So instead, what we want to portray is a whole collage of different people, who, as you have mentioned, have already been, made it in their careers. We have today, a list of our speakers from the best institutes. They are professors at IITs, at ICERs, at universities. We have tried to get people from across India in different aspects, and they all are going through a phase of their life where they have had to make these choices. So what we hope to do, and just as an example also for the other people, we will be playing some of these videos. We have pre-recorded these pitches. We will be also sharing these later over social media for even a larger impact. While we go through, in sets, not to favor anyone, it's all alphabetical. We will be playing these, and after a few, we will take a break, 5 at the first, and host some of these questions both for the first speakers, one by one. Okay. Before I go, I heard you also said that you may not be here for longer. So maybe if at least your question and answers we can have first before we go on to the other sessions. So I request, yeah?
Yeah, please.
And if there is any quick questions for Dr. Gupta, we can have them now. I see a lot of comments. I think they have all been very happy that you were able to be here and share your thoughts. But if there are more questions, then I can come back later, right? So let's proceed to the next part. I request everybody, whenever you have a question, please type the speaker's name and the question in the chat box, and we can pick it up later during the time. Okay?
Durga,
great.
Can I interrupt?
Thank you again once more, Dr. Gupta. And we will now move on to the next session, which is, the first part. So Suganda, I request you to be.
Diksha, before I say anything, Dr. Dhaka has something to specify.
I think there is, can you hear me, Suganda? There is one very important question in the YouTube. So if we can take that to Dr. Diksha, I think it will be motivating to a 12th class student.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so I did see that. I was wondering if that was for her or for the next one. So this is from Nisha Kakare, who said that she's not in the science stream. She's currently doing commerce, but she really wants to do something, related to STEM. And if you have any, thoughts and ideas for her.
Sure. So something which I say, especially being into these type of roles and career, science or any stream we pick to study inherently aims at helping us to ask questions, finding answers, and, really building that curious, inquisitive mindset. Even if someone is, pursuing commerce for quite some time, with new education policy and things, you don't have to have really degrees in things and then only you are eligible to pursue some particular subject. Anyone can study any subject if you really enjoy science, pick up like the books, the topics, the domain, the area, and then start educating yourself. Especially in last 2 years, digital world and self-education has empowered everyone. And we have seen the examples and story how far people can go. So even if you are at commerce, that should not be a limitation. You are free to study anywhere, and educational institutes are very, very open for interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary students. You can go pursue and, drive your aspiration despite whatever your degree, as long as you have an understanding and skills in the area you want to really, pursue further. So it's not a limitation. You are equally eligible like anyone.
Thanks, Dr. Gupta. Maybe I will squeeze in a second question, if that's okay, which is directly in the Zoom box. What motivated you to leave, mainstream research, as people say, and look at, alternate careers? And I know you have been extremely active with ACS, with outreach, with publishing, so many aspects of it. So you want to say something along those lines?
Definitely, I'll try to squeeze it, as short as possible. I was really good at research, but I was not excellent. And somehow I got this narrative of whatever you do it at your best. And whenever I was in lab, I used to look at the watch, how many hours, how long the experiment. Then I felt, is this really like I want to spend my life and looking at the watch? When I'm at work, I should really forget everything. And that was very challenging to me and super intimidating. Spending 11 years into a domain, and now you are asking yourself, is it something I want to pursue my career in? I mean, everyone will say you are stupid. And actually everyone said I'm a stupid, other than one or two people. But this was exactly more like introspection and self-realization at a stage where I felt I have an option to switch. But I think even if I had, after being a faculty member somewhere, I would not have hesitated. I know people switching career very comfortably, outside. People are into industry, they get into academia, they go into not-for-profit, multinationals. So this is really about trying, pursuing, liking, and doing a more value add wherever you are. So my motto is, I just don't need a job for salary sake. I really want to do something I enjoy. I do some sense of contribution I have. And of course, if I'm good, I'll get a good salary. So getting money is the outcome of you if you really are good at something. So that was the mindset and the overall notion around switching the career. So I enjoy what I do. I really love it. I forget time, and I get paid for my hobby, if I'm just saying very briefly to you.
Thank you, Dr. Gupta. I think that was very well said, that is the passion. And I think that is really why we also wanted you here today, to look at, people with different kinds of passion in different things that we do. And this is why we also want, people to share these journeys, because I think for every journey is so inspiring in wherever you are, that I think that together the collective thought really comes up to something else. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Gupta. Now moving on to the next part. Bye. Yeah. Suganda, you want to start sharing the screen?
I'll share the screen,
Right.
and in the meantime,
yeah.
thank you, Dr. Gupta.
Our first speaker, you can just start and then, okay. Our first speaker today is Dr. Ananda Bhadra. And just hang on, I'll just introduce Anandita. Yeah. So Dr. Anandita Bhadra is currently at IISER Kolkata, and she's also the founding chair of INYAS. And I promise you there was absolutely no favoritism for her to go first. It's really alphabetical, but in a way she has really set the tone of INYAS and VINYAS as well. So let's hear from Anandita.
Associate Professor at the Indian Institute of Science Education and Research, Kolkata. Here I started the dog lab in 2009. My students and I peep into the private lives of stray dogs, technically known as free-ranging dogs. When I was in school, in class 3, our science teacher, Mrs. Mandira Basu, told us to germinate gram seeds at home and record our observations. Later in class, she explained to us why some seeds sprouted and some did not. She even cut open some seeds to show us what was inside. I think my love for biology started then. I've had many wonderful teachers who have kept my love for biology burning. During my high school days, I met Professor Aniruddha Mukherjee, who told me about doing a PhD, having a career in research. Until then, I had only dreamed of being a teacher, because that was what I wanted to be ever since I was 5 years old. During my undergrad days, I met Professor Shalani Arya, one of our teachers, who introduced us to the wonderful fields of ecology, behavior, and evolution. He took us on a field trip to the Western Ghats. On the way, we dropped by at the Center for Ecological Sciences, IISc, and that changed my life forever. A talk by Professor Raghavendra completely bowled me over, and I decided I wanted to go back and do a PhD with him. In 2001, 4 years after this, I was back at CES as a PhD student working with Professor Gadekar. During my stay at IISc for almost 7 years, I learned a lot from him, not just about doing science, but about life. He has remained my mentor ever since then until today. I have, of course, faced hurdles. As a woman scientist, as a young researcher, there have been ups and downs, and there have been real dark moments in my life. But my family, friends, and some of my colleagues have always stood by me. My students have believed in me, and Professor Gadekar has always been a support system, guiding me through the darkest of times. My husband, Professor Banerjee, has been my best friend, and my two wonderful children have never held me back in anything that I have wanted to do. I have traveled. I have gone on to become a member of the Global Young Academy, which I eventually led as a co-chair. I have participated in many activities and outreach in policy and all kinds of science engagement, and I keep doing so till today. But what gives me the maximum fulfillment is teaching students, talking to young children, motivating others to do science. And that is, I think, my biggest achievement in life, that I lived the dream that I had ever since I was 5 years old. To all the young girls out there, I say, if you have a dream, follow it. Believe in yourself first, and that will give you the wings to fly. Never take no for an answer. Thank you.
Thank you both, Sugandha and Anandita. We will move on to the next one. Sugandha, it seems that they seem to be having some video issues, so maybe you can also check the video. The next speaker is Dr. Charulata from CSIR NISCPR.
Yeah, so thank you, Durga. Thanks a lot. Yeah. So basically, I was thinking that the videos which we have sent that you will be playing. But anyway, so I'll be like sharing my screen and
So Sugandha will be playing that video, Dr. Charulata. Sugandha will be playing the video that you have sent.
Okay. So that will be done later also.
Yes, and then we'll have the question and answers later. Yeah.
Okay.
Sugandha, are you playing the video?
Hello everyone, this is Dr. Charulata. I'm working as a scientist at CSIR National Institute of Science Communication.
Sorry, Sugandha, your screen is not shared.
Yeah.
Kiran, do you also want to be the backup for Sugandha? No, that's fine.
Hello everyone, this is Dr. Charulata. I'm working as a scientist at CSIR National Institute of Science Communication and Policy Research in Delhi. My scientific career, I'd like to sum up it as a researcher, editor, teacher, science communicator, and policy maker. Policy maker, of course, in making. My research interests include traditional knowledge, though I am not molecular biologist by training and have extensively worked with stress biology and reference. As far as my achievements are concerned, I have the privilege and honor to receive some of the top honors of the country for young scientists in India. And as far as my journey in science or STEM is concerned, I would say that during school days, I had no idea that why I'd like to choose STEM as a career. It was only that at that time, medicine, either medicine or engineering were considered as a profession, and my parents would deteriorate that only. And I also thought that yes, since I dreaded mathematics, so I had to be a doctor. So that was it, nothing else. And this thought process was there till I was in 12th, and I was put to societal and peer pressure, environmentality, everything, and that I wanted to do MBBS. But after 1 year of preparation, I realized that I'm not cut out for medicine. I cannot study medicine. And then I appeared for ICAR GRF examination, and I qualified, and I went on to study Assam agricultural at the AU to pursue my the MBA agriculture. And there, that was a major turning point in my research journey, because I had the opportunity to observe closely the problems of the farmers, and there I really got determined that yes, I want to make a career in agriculture only. And then the doors opened, a lot of opportunities came up. And here at AU, I was so excited to study and all, and I got a lot of blessings also. So it was really a nice experience at AU. And then I went on to study my MSc agriculture from University of Agriculture Technology, and I qualified CSIRF, and then I went on to study at NIPGR, and in the meantime I had the opportunity to work at the Class Research Center also. So I explored a lot, and a very good suggestion was given by Dr. Shekhar at that time, that you should never sigh of any opportunities. So after that, I joined NIPGR. I had the opportunity to get mentored by some of the finest scientists of the country. I received Inspire Faculty Award, was the first my independent role as a principal investigator, and that was just awesome. And then I got the opportunity to join NPRI as a scientist, and that was again another major turning point, because a lot of challenges were there. The labs established, grants, papers, students, everything was there, and then a 6-month-old baby was there to take care of, and of course a long distance was there. So I was constantly juggling to strike that perfect balance. And so I continued like that. I had opportunities to get some good students. I learned teamwork, and a lot of, until now, I have like more than 60 publications, a lot of grants, and very good contributions, and very high journals I had. But after that, after 5.5 years, I thought that I do not want to continue like this, and I want to relocate to Delhi. And I was lucky enough that I got a chance to get transferred to CSIRF. And here again, it's a major turning point, because I got a lot of new dimensions were added to my career. I began the importance of science communication and outreach, and I had, in fact, the opportunity to lead the national initiative, SWASTIC, and so that I'm leading. So that's really, really great. And as far as my passions for bridging the gender gap are there, equal opportunity, supportive environment at work and home, and mentors are going to play a very, very great role, and the right policies at right time. So that's very important. And my mantra for the young girls is that you should be passionate, curiosity should be there, willingness to constantly learn, perseverance, hard work, and the positive attitude, the happy attitude is there, and overall, the self-belief. So that is very, very important. And I only believe that you should never stop chasing your dreams, because you are dreaming, definitely everything will fall in place. So I just say that I'd like to give all the best to all the young girls out there.
Thank you. Our next trailblazer is Dr. Kalpana Nagpal from Amity University.
Hi everyone, I am Dr. Kalpana Nagpal, and I'm really grateful to
Suganda, again, it's not shared the screen. Sorry, I don't know why it's
this 3-minute session. So I'm a teacher by profession and a researcher by passion. My key interest is pharmaceutical sciences. At present, I'm working in the capacity of an associate professor at Amity Institute of Pharmacy. Hi everyone, I am Dr. Kalpana, and my major focus is research in formulation of
just give me a second, it's a double playing which is happening. Just give me a second.
Yeah, we had tried to not have it live for exactly these glitches, 3 minutes. It's fine.
I think it's
no pressure, Suganda.
No, I think it's on somebody else's end that the video is playing.
Two elder brothers who were actually pursuing engineering, and I was always fascinated with science discussed by my brothers at home.
It's not playing
so it created interest in science for me, but my inclination was
not playing at my
end. That's how I entered.
Kiran, can you test Ananya? I think Ananya just muted everyone.
Yeah. Playing on somebody else's YouTube.
Regarding people who have inspired me the most in my life, my parents are a true inspiration to me.
Suganda ma'am, now you can try.
Please mute everybody.
Muted ma'am.
Suganda, you want to try sharing and trying again? You are at mute right now.
It's already playing somewhere. That's the problem.
There is actually
Suganda, kindly
When
check
it's playing from your end only,
yeah,
because
some
when you
browser.
Nishima, you are also muted now. Sorry. I think.
Sorry. Can you hear me now, Durga? So Durga, the sound is coming from Suganda's end itself. So maybe you or Kiran can play the video till the time she...
Yeah, Suganda, we'll just keep a break. Kiran, could you play the video? Hi, Kiran.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yes, yes.
Kalpana, Nagpal. Yeah, you have everything ready.
Can you
Perfect.
see the screen? Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
perfect.
Hi everyone, I am Dr. Kalpana Nagpal and I'm really grateful to INYAS and WiSDom team to provide me platform to interact with you all through this 3-minute session. So I'm a teacher by profession and a researcher by passion. My key interest is pharmaceutical sciences. At present, I'm working in the capacity of an associate professor.
Kiran, you've got muted. Could you?
Especially chitosan-based nanoparticles for targeted to organs. And this is my team of students who are actually doing the research work with me or are still pursuing their work with me. And if I talk about INYAS, I'm an INYAS member and trying to conduct outreach activities to create awareness about science. Regarding why I chose STEM as a career, I was the youngest and the only sister of 2 elder brothers who were actually pursuing engineering, and I was always fascinated with science discussed by my brothers at home. So it created interest in science for me, but my inclination was towards life sciences. That's how I entered into life sciences and pharmaceutical field. Regarding people who have inspired me the most in my life, my parents are a true inspiration to me. My father, who was a postmaster, always performed his central government services with full dedication and honesty. He always encouraged in me the human values, hard work, and taught me to avoid the shortcuts for true learning. My mother served as a teacher. She inspired me to be punctual and disciplined in life, which helped me achieve my goals and targets well in time. So as I grew up, I'm actually inspired and felt motivated from all my teachers. I'm really grateful to all of them who actually challenged me to use imagination, intellect, and expectations. And all my teachers are so special and unique in their own ways. There is actually a bond of mutual trust and respect till date with all of them. In short, the environment around me was a true inspiration to do what I wished for. And these human values through my decision making and self management skills, ultimately improving my self confidence throughout. Regarding the major turning points or events in my life and the major challenges that I have faced and how I overcame the same, very humbly I wish to share that I was a district topper in class 5 even, and my parents admitted me to a new English medium school in class 6. But when I attended the new school, I was unable to understand the concept as I knew the same concept in Hindi. So I was, with respect of time, losing my confidence. And my father was actually observing this. He guided me to prepare a separate notebook where I started writing these terminologies in both Hindi as well as English language. That notebook became my real key to get back my confidence, and I was again the topper of a new class of English medium. So I learned that the hurdles can be overcome if we properly plan and execute the plan. Regarding my opinion, what can be done to bridge the gender gap in STEM? Actually, government is taking so many initiatives which are very good to bridge the gap, like Women Scientist Scheme, etc. And these provisions, like EH Liberty in many of the schemes, is one such example, which is a very good step. In my opinion, creating more and more awareness, motivation, and correct implementation of various good schemes will be very necessary to overcome the gender gap in STEM. Regarding my advice to the young school girls and women aspiring to make career in STEM, I would say the young girls and women should be more attentive, aware, and utilize the internet resources so that they get alerts about various schemes, and they should actually seek guidance from their seniors so as to excel in STEM field. And Always be yourself, be enthusiastic to achieve what you want in life in your own way. And I must say, there are problems or situations in everyone's life, but it is how we are handling those situations, how we are overcoming them, and converting those challenges into opportunities that is with us. And everyone handles it in their own way. So, all the very best from my side. Keep growing.
Thank you. The next speaker is Dr. Kiran Bala. Kiran, may I request you only to play your part? I think that's fine.
Myself, Dr. Kiran Bala. I am currently working as Associate Professor in Department of Biosciences and Biomedical Engineering at IIT Indore. We at IIT Indore work with algae and cyanobacteria for various environmental applications. It includes wastewater treatment, carbon sequestration, and biofuels, etc. There are many more. But today, I'm not going to talk about my research, but actually about my journey to this point. I got fascinated to know the presence of good and bad bacterial species in my 8th or 9th standard, which inclined me towards the field of biology. My father really supported me by helping me in choosing PCB, physics, chemistry, and biology, at 11th standard. And then I took over biology in BSc, MSc, and then finally PhD. My main motivation in life were two ladies. My mother, who handled primary school at that time as principal, and also my PhD supervisor, Professor Ananda Bhadra. I observed them working really hard and maintaining a perfect life balance. Even now, I remember their motivating words in my low times. So when I was in my early career age, doing postdoctoral, I blessed with one baby girl, and then another one after 14 months, which actually changed my primary objective of life. Science was just ready to leave me, but at that time, my husband played a very crucial role, and with his trust and support only, I was able to manage all my international and national travel, long experiments running till late evenings in lab with two baby girls of 1 to 2 years age back at home. So actually, men around us can help in filling this gender gap. We need to motivate young girls around us about STEM and make them aware about different opportunities available. Most important suggestion I want to give to young girls is to be focused and motivated in all up and down time of life. Sharing your dream career plans with family members can also align them with you. Believe me, there are many options, many opportunities supported by Government of India and other international agencies to take you forward. You just need to bring one step forward, and the sky is full of opportunities. Keep trying, you will surely fly one day. Best of luck for your future, for achieving your dreams. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Kiran. And the fifth speaker and the last speaker in this session is Dr. Mehak Sharma from IISER Mohali. Over to you, Sugandha.
Hello everyone, my name is Mehak Sharma and I am an associate professor in the Department of Biological Sciences at IISER Mohali. I am a cell biologist, which means that my team and me study processes that happen inside the cells. The primary focus of my research group is to understand how the newly made proteins are transported to their correct cellular location, which is a very important question, because if this cellular transport system does not work, then we have problems in cell survival and diseases such as the Parkinson disease. Science as a way of life was the mantra in my childhood home when my parents, a surgeon and a gynecologist, brought up my sister and me. A medical laboratory with its microscopes and bioanalyzers, parents who employed active learning to teach us, and frequent family trips to mountains. All of these experiences greatly influenced me to develop a love for life sciences. My journey as a scientist, as an independent scientist, has been a little unusual in the sense that I started my lab when I was 28 years old. And now, with almost a decade of running my lab at IISER and having a daughter who's now 3 years old, I can talk about a few challenges that I faced and solutions that essentially remain a work in progress. I found that my ability to devote time to research has significantly reduced after having a child, and I find balancing work and home quite challenging. What has worked for me to manage things in a better way are flexible work times and the freedom to plan my day. I teach and I do research every day, but I plan both aspects of my day. On-campus accommodation and an excellent on-campus fresh facility are two significant features that have very helped me and young mothers like me to continue working while taking care of the child. I firmly believe that these features, flexible work timing, campus accommodation, good fresh facility, etc., near the workplace, are few things that can help young mothers to manage their day best and should be invested in. I found that many graduate students who are typically women have to quit science post-PhD and sometimes after a postdoctoral stint, and this is actually quite common and there is a term for it, the leaky pipeline. In many of these instances, the reasons are related to marriage or to motherhood. And an unavoidable consequence of this leaky pipeline is a significantly low number of women faculty applicants in the pool for hiring in research institutions. How to then fix this leak? I think that mentoring and having role models could help in these instances. Organizing workshops for our senior PhD students where they can openly discuss their apprehensions about continuing science while raising a family could help, and could help in retaining this talented pool of women researchers into the system. Both my spouse and myself have been very fortunate to find 2 science jobs in a small city of India, but that's not common. And I think that research institutes in India need to step up and work together to solve this two-body problem. As many scientists, especially women, who are unable to find suitable positions in the academia with necessity and ultimately end up in research. Finally, besides the supportive environment that each of us needs, there are still other obstacles to be faced, which exist due to gender-specific biasness. I think that the first step in addressing these issues is to understand and accept that such implicit biases exist in academia, and we need to run workshops, training programs to help in counteracting these biases, to understand that we all face this, we all have this. I strongly advocate that decision-making committees, such as those for faculty selection, award nominations, selections, etc., should be diverse and gender balanced. And we need to have a workplace environment which understand the needs of working women, working mothers, and we need to create provisions to retain them in the workplace. Thank you.
Thank you, Suganda, and thank you, Mehak. Just a reminder that, if you have any questions for any of the speakers, please put it in the chat box. We will be taking them. So this is now time for the question and answer sessions of the first session. We have 5 speakers. I don't see too many questions, so maybe I can go over to each of the speakers for one and only one closing remark that they want to share with us. I know some of you mentioned it would be nice to have it live, but having so many speakers live in 3 minutes is problematic. So perhaps I can request all of you just to give one nugget. So let's start with Dr. Ananda Bhadra. Would you like to add something over here?
Not really add, but I was just observing that I think our common thread in what all of us have said is the support from family, the spouse, the administration. So this is again something that should be highlighted, and I think it's for the men out there to remember that they are very, very important in empowering the women to continue in STEM and to solve the problem of the leaky pipeline, be it the father or the husband or the head of the department or the director of an institute. So institutional and family support matters, and this is for the policymakers out there to think about how we can actually improve the system a lot more to make it much more inclusive and friendly towards women.
Thank you, Anandita. And indeed, well said towards institutional policies. I think Mehak also brought that out. But I think that this is there at every step. I'm hoping that many of the, the students who are now in school and colleges and their teachers can also see over and, think of how they can help in that way. Okay, moving on to the next speaker in the session, Dr. Charulata.
Thanks, Durba. So, yeah, if you want
Dr.
me to say, hello. So, am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, yeah. Yes.
So if you want me to, say like the concluding remarks or something like this, I would just say that basically, everyone has to make a choice day in and day out, every day. In fact, it's not like a one-time affair. So my suggestion to all the young girls out there would be to whatever you choose, you go ahead with conviction. I mean, you should be never ashamed of your decision, whatever you are doing. And there will be opportunities. There always be opportunities if you are good, if you are passionate about your work. Definitely, a lot of scopes and horizons will be there, and there are a lot of people will be there who will be helping you out. It's not like that you are alone in this journey. So if you reach out to people, there will be there will be people who are going to extend their hands to help you out and to mentor you also. So you just go ahead with the conviction. So that is my final word. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Charulata. Indeed, I think help is something we all have to ensure in our lives. I now go to Dr. Kalpana Nagpal. Dr. Kalpana, would you like to give a few closing remarks, something you think we should all highlight, especially for the students here? Dr. Kalpana, are you still here? I know you were here right now.
She's here and she's unmuted as well. I guess there is some technical issue. I can see.
Okay. Okay, then let's move on to Dr. Kiran Bala and we'll come back to Dr. Kalpana. Yeah, Kiran, stage is yours.
Yes, thanks, Durba, for giving this chance again to me. I always feel, for me, actually, it happened that sharing with our family members actually works. So I really want to suggest this to young girls that please share your dream plans, what you want to be with your parents, your husband, all your family members, so that they can also
be in the support. They will support you because you are with them. You are not a stranger for them, right? So they are going to support you. As such, if scientifically I talk about it, that there are lot many options. I told in the video itself that you have to just step forward, that there are options, especially for female candidates, for women, early career women. There are so many schemes available nowadays. After PhD, you can join as postdoc, you can join as so many schemes are there. So you just try exploring things and take your family on board, right? Without them, because if they are on the other side, then it is quite difficult. You have to fight every day at home itself for your dreams, right? So sharing is quite important at this stage. Thank you.
Thank you, Kiran. I can now invite Dr. Mahek Sharma. Mahek, are you here? I think you already gave us a lot of nice policy decisions, but maybe you want to add something to that.
Just first want to thank Durba, Kiran and others for organizing this very special event. And I do hope that our young listeners are, PhD students, people who are motivated to do STEM are listening. Nothing new to add. I mean, whatever Kiran just said, I really resonate with her. And this phrase, there is this very popular animation movie, Finding Nemo, which has a phrase, just keep swimming. So it resonates with me. We just have to believe that we can do it and continue. And also, when you join a place, you try to figure out that what is missing, what can help me, and raise it to the authorities. Like many places didn't had creche in the beginning, and then when they had let's say one person who needed it, a space was identified and things happened. So just keep swimming. Don't quit for these reasons. Talk to your family and talk to the institution and find ways that can help you balance work and home. I think that is the major challenge that our people who quit science face, and just keep swimming. Yeah.
Thank you, Mahek. Just a reminder, we will be sharing many of these 3-minute pitches on social media, so I hope we will be able to reach a wider audience as well. We will now move on to session 2, and we will have the same format where we will first play the 5 videos and then have question and answer session. And for that, I invite Kiran to take over and be the moderator for the second session. Kiran, over to you.
Yes, thank you, Durga. But in between, Dr. Kalpana was there, so let's give her floor.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, very sorry for the technical glitch. I think, in my opinion, if you want to have anything in your life, just stay focused. I must say, you must have a plan and don't care about what others are thinking if you are in STEM, because it's not about a boy or a girl's game. It's about your interest. If you have a strong interest and determination, I think you can achieve it. And the time has really changed. It's not the time of our parents or grandparents. I think when you're doing well, people will support you for sure. And if you need any help from among us, we shall be ready to help you out. So that's my message. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kalpana. And thanks, Dr. Durga, for giving this floor to me again. So let's move to session 2. And for session 2, we have our first video from Dr. Neha Sardana, who is from IIT Ropar. So Suganda, please, if you can.
Hello everyone, I am Neha Sardana. I am an assistant professor in the Department of Metallurgical and Materials Engineering at IIT Ropar, and I work in the materials department with an idea to tune the structure-property relation, and it is actually the heart and soul of any materials engineering. If you want to change the property of a material, you need to change its structure and vice versa. And both structure and properties, they influence the performance and the processing of these materials. What motivated or inspired you in school time to choose STEM? Well, I always loved maths as such, so I was always getting praises from my mathematics teachers, while whenever it came to English or Hindi teachers or other physical education teachers, they were always like, she's weak and she's quite an average student. But whenever my class teacher was a mathematics teacher or a science teacher, then I would always get, she's an excellent student, she does amazing work, and that motivating words always helped me to take up science or mathematics in my courses in 11th and 12th. I did not choose STEM as a career myself. It came to me eventually on way, of course, because I wanted to be a medical doctor, and of course I was very fearful of a bio later on. And similarly, I wanted to be a police officer at a very young age. I wanted to be a pilot, I wanted to be a teacher and so on. But eventually I realized that I did like teaching and I did like sciences and mathematics. So what would be an option to go forward, and the best possible option was choosing STEM as a career. People who have inspired me the most are my parents. One incident that I remember was when I was around 5 years old. He said, come on, let's make a magnet out of a nail that I was playing. So he took this nail and he wrapped around a wire and he put it in the plug, and somewhere the fuse of the house went off, but the magnet was made, and a person inside me who loved science was motivated. So another person who inspired me was my mother. She was a role model in the sense she always encouraged me that you have to be independent in life. And when I went for BTech in Metallurgical and Materials Engineering, and she went ahead and pursued her law degree, and that is actually setting an example by doing it in real life. So there is no age to stop learning. That is what she showed me. The third person who inspired me the most was late Shri Professor Agrewala. She was professor in Metallurgical and Materials Engineering at IIT Roorkee, and she always said to me, Neha, you are a female, you are in metallurgy department, you have great aspirations in front of you, so go ahead, do a master's, do a PhD, go abroad and come back to India and give. So these are like the three most inspiring people in my life. Turning point in my life was when I got an offer from IIT Jodhpur to join as assistant professor. My in-laws and my husband, they really supported me to go far away from my house. There are certain challenges that we still face, is that my husband and I stay in different IITs, so we stay in different places and we manage. And similarly, there are other challenges like some posts like administrative posts and so on are not preferred to be given to female, but it does not matter too much in the long run. So in my opinion, what can be done to bridge the gender gap in STEM is we need more role models which are female, and we have to motivate the younger generation to take up STEM as a career. My advice to the young schoolgirls and women who are aspiring to make a career in STEM is that we have to take the help of everybody and everyone possible. We should not be shy to ask for help. Second thing is, there are people who are always ready to help you throughout, and there might be times when you will have to balance between your family life and your academic life, and it is part and parcel of every person, not just female or male. So we have to take life as it comes and go with the flow. So we as women take things more seriously at times, I feel that, and we have to take things with a smoother hand every step. Thank you.
Very rightly said, very inspiring words. And even, we always want to be a superwoman. So that's why, we actually consider things in a serious manner. Okay, so our next speaker, our next video is from Dr. Nishad Fatima from CSIR CLRI.
Hi, this is Diksha Fatima
Senior Principal Scientist from CFAR, a complete science enthusiast who loves to communicate science to all youngsters out there. I basically work in the area of fascinating structure of skin and collagen. A leather technologist by profession, I try to solve the issues related to the leather industry, like converting the waste from the leather industry into a value-added product. I have fantastic students working with me. This group is developing a lot of solutions to the problems faced by the leather industry. Now, what is my entry into STEM? Well, it is often said, destiny chooses us. We don't select our destiny. My entry into STEM was something on those lines. I wanted to be a medical doctor and ended up being a PhD doctor. The one person who continues to inspire me till date is Dr. T. Ramasamy, my PhD mentor, supervisor, and a fantastic human being. Even today when I get to talk to him, I learn a lot. And of course, my parents, sounds cliched, but it is the fact that they have been the reason to what I am today. They have been completely supportive of me in whatever I wanted to do. So definitely I owe it to them. There are two turning points in a woman's life where there is definitely an impact on their career. The first being the marriage and second the childbirth. I have had the blessings of having a wonderful husband who has been very supportive in all my endeavors. Yes, the childbirth did have an impact, but having two lovely daughters gave me the boost to do better than what I was actually doing. So I think women consider these things as setbacks, but no, they can be tuned to your advantage if you actually really want to achieve something and give back to society. First and foremost thing to be done to make young girls, to come into STEM is to have more role models. Basically, what happens is once they see someone who has gone through this journey, definitely it will inspire youngsters, young girls to take up STEM. So we need to have more role models. Secondly, there should be more awareness of the various governmental schemes which are available for the re-entry of women who had career break because of, again, as I said, marriage and childbirth. So do these two things. Definitely, there will be more women, girls joining STEM. To be that change, Mahatma Gandhi said was 100% true. I quote him once again, be the change you wish to see in this world. All the best.
Thank you, Dr. Nishat, for such an inspiring video. And we met recently through INYAS, and I really feel like full of energy after talking to you. So it is really interesting and motivating to see your video. And our next pitch is from Dr. Nishima from Punjab University. Yes, Suganda.
Hello everyone, this is Dr. Nishima. I'm working as an assistant professor in the Department of Applied Sciences at the University Institute of Engineering and Technology at Punjab University, Chandigarh. My main area of research is into the nanomaterials and their applications, particularly on the biological side. And my work is totally interdisciplinary. Science was already there or in our family. So it basically started from the family. A lot of people in my family were working in the field of science, and therefore I was always attracted towards this subject. I was a good student in school, so the teachers also motivated me a lot. So my career. So as I think most of us would relate to me on this, that most of us wanted to be doctors, but we landed up as scientists. I think it's good that it was that way. So God always has better plans for us maybe. When I started studying chemistry, at the university. I did my honors in chemistry. My interest is not only in chemistry, but my main interest is into actually a fusion of various subjects like primarily chemistry and biology. So that's when actually I realized that research is one such thing which attracts me a lot and became a passion for me. So with times I started doing my own research, getting my own grants, going out of country for doing meaningful research, starting my own lab here. I would first say that the one person who has inspired me the most and who always keep on inspiring me is my mother, late Dr. Fulavangu. So she was like a pillar of strength for us. She was always very courageous and she made us realize the value of being independent and of being educated. My father is also one of one. He is the one who always emotionally understands me before I say anything. So he knew what I wanted, even when I myself didn't know that yes, I wanted this thing. Other people who have inspired me are like Professor D.P.S. Jain, a very renowned figure in the field of chemistry, and I can never forget that he always used to say that just don't bother about what people say, just keep on doing good work. The good work always speaks for you. So I will always remember what he said. I'm also very much inspired by my PhD supervisors, Professor Pooja Devi from Department of Chemistry and Professor Raman Suri, who was actually a scientist. So both my supervisors have actually shaped my career. When I received this Inspire Faculty Award in 2012, that was a major turning point for my research career because it gave me an independence to build up a lab of my own, to go for a research group of my own, which I always wanted. So the challenges were also on the professional side as well, because it is not very easy to build up a research career if you are alone, if you don't have any backing. But at the end of the day, after the turmoil, when you do all this and you achieve what you want, then you really feel very content, you feel proud of yourself that you can be an inspiration. So visits to international labs where I worked as a postdoc in a pre-doc, Technological University, Singapore Department of Materials Science and Engineering Institute of Nanotechnology, Northwestern University, INYAS, USA. So these were the exposures actually which also gave a thrust to my research passion. I think this thing should start from the family level, from childhood itself. When a child is very young, these things should be put into the minds of the children, that gender does not have anything to do with the capability of a person. Especially I would say that rather than making the girls understand the gender difference, we should actually sensitize our boys to be more respectful towards the girls. And my advice to the young girls would be that do not fear about anything which is related to your dreams. Just go for your dreams, become what you want. First and foremost, be independent, be financially independent, be emotionally independent, and believe me, there are lots of opportunities for girls and women nowadays. The government has also launched many new schemes, and I'm sure if girls want to go into the field of STEM, they will, and they are already doing well, and we have a lot many role models now than we had before. Independent. This is what I would like to give this is my advice to them.
Very true, Nishima. Thanks for suggestions. Our next speaker is scientist Dr. Pooja Devi. She is from CSIR CSIO, working as principal scientist. So, Suganda, are you able to share? Her research expertise is also in the domain of materials engineering techniques and associated approaches.
मेरा नाम डॉक्टर पूजा है। मैं CSIR के केंद्रीय वैज्ञानिक उपकरण संगठन चंडीगढ़ आधारित लैब में प्रधान वैज्ञानिक के रूप में कार्यरत हूँ। मैं ट्रेनिंग से मटीरियल साइंटिस्ट हूँ। मेरा कार्य नए नए मटेरियल्स को डिजाइन करना है, फंक्शनल मटेरियल्स को, जिनको मैं पानी में पॉल्यूटेंट्स के डिटेक्शन, ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन जनरेशन और इंडोर एयर प्यूरिफिकेशन के लिए प्रयोग में कार्य कर रही हूँ। मैं एज अ मटेरियल साइंटिस्ट जो मेरी एक्सपर्टीज है वो सेमीकंडक्टर नैनो स्ट्रक्चर, स्पेशली ऑक्साइड्स, कार्बन नैनो स्ट्रक्चर, 2D मटेरियल्स और प्लाज्मिक नैनो स्ट्रक्चर्स में है। इन मटेरियल्स को टेक्नोलॉजिकल एप्लीकेशन के लिए उपयोग लाने के क्षेत्र में भी मैं कार्य कर रही हूँ। एज फार एज मेरी एजुकेशन का विषय है, मैंने जो अपनी जो एजुकेशन है टैगोर पब्लिक स्कूल ढान कैथल से की है और गीता निकेतन आवासीय विद्यालय कुरुक्षेत्र। मैंने अपनी बीटेक बायोटेक्नोलॉजी विषय में UIT कुरुक्षेत्र यूनिवर्सिटी से पूरी की है और एमटेक नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी में IIT रुड़की से पूरी की है। जहाँ तक बात आती है कि व्हाट मोटिवेटेड मी टू चूज स्टेम एज अ करियर, तो स्कूल के समय में मैं विज्ञान और गणित की अच्छी छात्रा रही थी। तो आप जैसा कि जानते हैं कि गाँव में कस्बों में अगर आप विज्ञान या गणित के अच्छे छात्र हैं तो आपको या तो डॉक्टर या फिर इंजीनियर बनने के लिए गाइड किया जाता है। तो ऐसा ही मेरे साथ भी हुआ और इसके अलावा मैं टीवी से काफी इन्फ्लुएंस रही हूँ। मैं साइंस एजुकेशन प्रोग्राम देखती थी दूरदर्शन पर और समाचार पत्रों में प्रोफेसर यशपाल के कॉलम पढ़ती थी, जिसकी वजह से इनकी मेरा जो रुझान है वो विज्ञान की तरफ बढ़ा और स्टेम को एज अ करियर चूज करने की तरफ गया। पीपल हु इंस्पायर्ड मी, मेरी जो अर्ली इंस्पिरेशन मेरे फादर रहे हैं जिन्होंने मुझे अपनी एजुकेशन में अच्छा करने के लिए हमेशा एनकरेज किया और मैंने भी उनको हर क्षेत्र में गौरवान्वित महसूस करने के लिए अपना बेस्ट देने की हमेशा कोशिश की है। बाद में मेरे पर्सनल और प्रोफेशनल फ्रंट पे ऐसे कई लोग मेरे जीवन में आए हैं, वो मेरे फैमिली एंड पे, मेरे टीचर्स और मेरे कोलीग्स जिन्होंने किसी न किसी तरीके से मुझे इंस्पायर और एनकरेज किया है। मेजर टर्निंग पॉइंट एक हम्बल फैमिली बैकग्राउंड की होने की वजह से और हिंदी भाषी एजुकेशन होने की वजह से जब मैंने स्टेम को चूज किया +1 में, तो मुझे विषय को समझने में बड़ी दिक्कतें आती थी। उसको पूरा करने के लिए, उसको ओवरकम करने के लिए मैं डिक्शनरी साथ में लेके बैठती थी और कोर्स को समझने के लिए मैं 1-to-1 वर्ड्स का ट्रांसलेशन, डिफिकल्ट वर्ड्स का ट्रांसलेशन पहले करती थी और फिर सब्जेक्ट को समझती। तो हार्डवर्क me to overcome that barrier. जो second challenge जो मैंने face किया वो early time, like when I had my first my child and that time मैं अपना lab भी establish कर रही थी, अपना career भी build कर रही थी। तो जो work life को balance करना एक बहुत बड़ा challenge था और उसको overcome करने के लिए मैंने मैक्सिमम सपोर्ट सिस्टम हो सकता था वो लिया, फैमिली की फॉर्म में और फ्रेंड्स और या एक्सटर्नल हेल्प के थ्रू मैंने इस बैरियर को ओवरकम किया। जेंडर गैप को ब्रिज करने के लिए मेरे हिसाब से ये इम्पोर्टेंट है कि हम अपनी गर्ल्स को एनकरेज करें, उनको अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करें स्टेम करियर के बारे में और इस तरह का हम एक सपोर्ट दें, चाहे वो फैमिली लेवल पे हो या पॉलिसी लेवल पे हो, ताकि वो अपने स्टेम करियर को गिव अप ना करें एंड दे डू नॉट जगल बिटवीन दी पर्सनल एंड प्रोफेशनल लाइफ। क्योंकि हम देखें कि हमारा एनरोलमेंट काफी अच्छा है स्कूल्स में गर्ल्स का, बट ये ट्रेन्ड गर्ल्स हम गिव अप कर देते हैं एज अ प्रोफेशनल्स। सो वो जो लीकी पाइपलाइन है उसको हम तभी रिच कर सकते हैं अगर हम एक प्रॉपर इकोसिस्टम फैमिली फ्रेंड पे और या इंस्टीट्यूशनल लेवल पे इस तरह का हम क्रिएट करें। जो मेरी एडवाइस रहेगी यंग गर्ल्स और वुमेन के लिए जो स्टेम को लेना चाहती हैं, स्टेम एक सेटिस्फाइंग फील्ड है और एक चैलेंजिंग फील्ड भी है। तो अगर आप में क्यूरियोसिटी है, आप में पैशन है to give back to the society through your SMT, so be confident on yourself, have faith on yourself and also build a support system in and around you to sail through this journey. So ये मेरी एडवाइस रहेगी यंग गर्ल्स के लिए। मेरे जीवन में भी बहुत ऐसे मेंटर्स रहे हैं फैमिली एंड पे और प्रोफेशनल एंड पे, मेरे पिताश्री, मेरे टीचर्स, मेरे जीवन साथी और बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग हैं जिन्होंने मुझे एनकरेज किया है, इंस्पायर किया है। तो इसलिए जरूरी है आप भी अपने अराउंड इस तरह का एक सिस्टम जरूर बिल्ड करें, अच्छे मेंटर्स से जुड़ें। और अंत में मैं ये कहना चाहूंगी कि अपने जीवन में अपने लिए एक ड्रीम जरूर रखें, वो ड्रीम जिसको पाने के लिए आप जी तोड़ मेहनत करें, वह कुछ भी हो सकता है। अपने लिए एक ड्रीम जरूर रखें अपने लाइफ में जिससे आपको एक सेटिस्फेक्शन मिले।
Very rightly said, Dr. Pooja. So our last pitch of this session 2 is by Dr. Rishamjit Kaur. She is also from CSIR, CSIO, and currently working as principal scientist. So Suganda, can you share?
Hi everyone, I am Rishamjit Kaur. I am Principal Scientist at CSIR Central Scientific Instrument Organization. And today I am here to share with you my journey of STEM, I'd say. So firstly, talking about myself, I'm a researcher who's working in the area of artificial intelligence, collective intelligence and data sciences in general, you can say. I love finding patterns in data, be it the social media data, looking at how the humans behave, how different phenomena spread, or be it any other different sort of instrumental, analytical, or any other sort of data sets. So, and if you will ask me that if I always wanted to be a scientist, my answer would be no. In fact, when I was, just after 10th, when I was in school, and we all of us faced this question like what to choose. Now we have these 4 dragons in front of us. Choose medical, non-medical, commerce, or arts. At least this is how it was at my time. Maybe things have changed with you now. So I was clueless, and so were sweetheart of my parents. They had no idea what should be done. They only knew that that you should pursue a technical career in STEM by choosing either physics, chemistry, maths, or biology, because this is where we see that there are many opportunities. Maybe you will pursue, or you will do well in the other fields as well, but we see potential in you here. Like my father was stuck. You got 100 out of 100 in mathematics, you should definitely pursue a technical career. But at that time, I think I was not confident enough to, and I was really scared. I thought I wouldn't be able to do this. So I chose first medical, but just within 2 days, I was so scared that I decided to quit it, to be honest. And I went to the commerce classes for 2 months, and I was happily doing my accounts, very happy with it. When my parents started, started to convince me that no, that pursue a career. They gave me enough time to explore the other options, but then they made me talk to other people. They thought that maybe if she's not listening to us, maybe she will listen to someone else. And I don't know what happened. Whatever neurons fired in my brain at that time, I'm really thankful. My parents pushed me. They pushed me towards the right direction. I'm very thankful to them. And I chose a non-medical PCM. And as we say, one thing leads to another, one door open, another door for you. So I pursued my engineering from Punjab University in electronics instrumentation. When I did my master's, I also did my PhD. I then went to Nagoya University, Japan as a scholar, which further opened up my thought process, my horizon. There was exchange of culture along with the research experience that I got there. And after that, I'll say that just there was no limit. I went to so many different universities abroad, internationally, nationally, and I had these great experiences. So I'll say that the career in STEM has given me so many opportunities, which at the time I could not have thought about it by myself. And along the way, there have been many people who have inspired me. In the early part of my career, it was definitely my parents. Then in the later part, it would be wrong to sort of pinpoint just one person. There were so many teachers, senseis, partners, life partners who advise you, encourage you, and encourage you to do things that you personally never thought could do by yourself. So, just look around you. There are so many inspiring people around you, and I feel that there are many girls who just do not pursue this career because maybe they are not confident of themselves, like maybe I was. And families play a very important role in bridging this gap. So I think if the parents, along with the girls, if the parents are also given the counseling, it can definitely help us in bridging the STEM gap, in bridging the gender gap in STEM. And my advice to the girls would be that if you want to pursue something, just go for it. Do not wait for someone else to take your decisions. Just be confident of yourself, and the whole world, the sky is your limit. Thank you everyone.
Okay, so this was all about session 2, and now we are ready to take questions for session 2 speakers, and you can raise your hands if you have questions for them, any of them. We can connect you to the particular scientist. Else, let's take their conclusive comments. Let's start from Dr. Neha, who was the first speaker in this second session. Dr. Neha Sardana.
I would say that there is a lot of things that we can say during this time. So 3-4 minutes was too less. So we have so many other people that inspire us throughout our journey. It's not just our parents, not just our teachers, our students, our kids. Oh my God, they are a huge inspiration. They push you to go to office every day. That is what I would say. And bridging gap between the various between both the genders is going to be a Herculean task, and I think we are getting there, but it's going to be a long journey before we get to exact, say, 49-51 or 50-50%. So that is going to be a very long journey ahead of us, and I hope this initiative from INYAS would help us get a bit closer to it. That are my comments for it.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Neha. Now, Dr. Nishad Fatima.
Thank you, Kiran. I think INYAS is actually paving the path for this so-called gender equality in STEM, because our first chair was a woman. And we have, as I mentioned in, when I was describing about WiSDom activities, we have more than 55% representation in the core committee of INYAS. And of course, about 30% representation in the membership. So all this really tells us that INYAS is showing the path, way forward for the others to follow. So in that way, we should really feel proud about being part of INYAS. And to all the young girls, women, whoever is listening to this, please go for it. Just remove all your fears, as our Diksha Gupta was also mentioning. Just go for it. Keep swimming. I'm borrowing your quote there. So keep swimming and be the change you wish to see in this world. All the best.
Yes. For me, today's take-home message is keep swimming. Correct. Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Nishad. Next, Dr. Nishima, please say a few words.
Yeah, thanks, Kiran. First of all, I would like to say that we are actually overwhelmed by the participation also, and the videos, fantastic videos everyone has contributed. I just wanted to add, just like what I think Neha said, that we have many more other people whom we wanted to actually thank or acknowledge for all this. So actually, when I was making my video, I didn't notice that I had made a 10-minute long video. Then my student had to do a lot of things to actually cut it down to 3 minutes. It is very difficult. I must say that as women, we must help other women. We must acknowledge the assistance of other women, because most of the times I have seen that it is actually us women who do not like to acknowledge or who do not like to encourage other women. This should not be the thing. We should notice what hurdles we had in our path, and we should therefore encourage the young girls, and in whichever way we can help the young girls or our fellow colleagues also, women colleagues also. I think that is most important. And as far as the encouragement part is concerned, I think it is my 3-year-old daughter also who always encourages me, because she is a go-getter. She will never settle down for anything but the best, and I have learned this from her. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nishima. Let's hear Dr. Pooja say a few words for us.
Yes, thank you, Kiran. I think most have been said by all of us. I will just say that as a child, I never realized that there is a gender difference in pursuing the education or the STEM. I think in India, we are fortunate enough in that sense that we have such family support system. I think the major problem we face is we are not able to retain these girls. For that, it's important we should have the support system, and also we definitely have the institutional level intervention, so that we provide them that ecosystem which they get in their childhood or during their school time. college time. So that kind of support system is required for them for this transition to entering into professional life. So that's what I think more work is required. And also I think more work is required at leadership level, where we as a women step back just because of the several reasons. And again, I think more mentorship, more training, learning how to have a work-life balance. That's really important to have more women in leadership. And once they are at leadership, they have to speak about the for having more representation of women in STEM, and like being on to other side of table, they have to work more for the women. So that's what my few last point. And last, have believe on yourself and just go for it. That's what I'll say. Thank you.
Yes, Dr. Pooja, thanks for such inspiring words. Let's go to Dr. Ishamjeet Kaur. She was here, I feel.
I think she's not there.
I can't see now.
Maybe we can move on, and when she joins, we can.
Okay, sure. So this is all about session 2, but I now feel so much inspired by all the success stories by young women scientists. Their journey, like it is, many times I have seen these videos as I was kind of coordinating it, but every time I watch these, I now also I feel motivated. So thank you so much everyone for sharing all these interesting videos. Thank you so much. Over to you, Durba, for next session.
Thank you, Kiran. You are right. Indeed, it has been really motivating and also a bit overwhelming. So I think it was good to take this break in the moderation. So moving to our last session, and definitely not the least session, we have some really amazing speakers. So please don't go away. I know we are running a little bit late on time, but please stay back to hear these fantastic speakers. The first is Dr. Shalani Arya from ICT Mumbai. And thank you.
I'm Shalani Arya from Food Engineering and Technology Department of Institute of Chemical Technology, and we are working on top 3 sustainable development goals. And through food technology, we wonder that how these sustainable development goals can be achieved. So we are working on functional, diabetic, traditional, Indian traditional foods, or utilizing the waste. If you ask me, what motivated me to choose a career in STEM during my school time? So, as it is rightly said that in the middle of every difficulty lies an opportunity. So, poverty, hunger, stereotypes that I faced during the school time itself motivated me to choose the STEM as a career, and at the same time, STEM has many opportunities. It is, I would say, the major driver of the economy. So therefore, that motivated me to choose, and I was very passionate about, or science and mathematics were my most favorite subjects. I choose the career as STEM, as I said that the STEM is the major driver of the economy, and STEM had, and today also STEM has many opportunities. So one who takes the education in STEM, gets more opportunity. And my pillars, these are the one, my parents, because of them, today I am what is all because of them. I'm very thankful to them that they give me an opportunity, they give me the higher education, they motivated me, they took all the hard work and efforts for me. So I'm so thankful to my parents, my teachers, who guided me correctly, who gave a good advice wherever and whatever way I wanted. Mentors, friends and relatives. What is turning point in my life? Enrolling to the food science program, and while studying the food science program, I came across many of the opportunities, and I learned that it is very interesting. Actually, that is what was the turning point in my life. Yes, there were many challenges that I faced, and But a famous quote from Marie Curie is, life is not easy for any of us, and we must believe that we are gifted for something, and that this thing at whatever cost must be attained. So yes, the challenges are there in life, but facing them and overcoming them is what we have to do. And what can be done to build a gender gap? I would say that more fellowships can bring more girls, more opportunities, more funds to provide the higher education. Still, there are leaky pipelines, and there are difficulties for girls to go for STEM education, especially for the rural area. So, providing more funds so that they can go easily for the higher educations can help. At the same time, better workplaces can help bring in more women. So my advice to the young girls who are aspiring for STEM education, I would say go for it. It is the best. It is the most powerful thing one should make. And my advice while pursuing the STEM is you should never quit. Keep yourself motivated. Barriers are part of our life, and you must present yourself in the best possible way. It is possible to make the barriers reasons for your success, and always remember that situation might be bad or worse, but changing that situation is completely in our hands, and we are the boss of our life. So last but not least, I would like to say thank you. Be always curious, be courageous, creative, persistent, communicative, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Shalini. It's always really inspiring to hear you. Our next pitch is from Dr. Sonu Gandhi from NIAB, Hyderabad. Suganda, you're playing, right?
So hello to all the INYAS members, and myself Sonu Gandhi, and I work as a scientist at National Institute of Animal Biotechnology situated at Hyderabad. Our group works on the biosensor development and receptor targeting. In biosensor development, we work on the synthesis and design of novel nanomaterials and use it for the diagnostic purposes. For diagnostics, we work on bacterial viral diseases and environmental pollutant detection. For receptor targeting, we design various nanofibers or these scaffolds and use it for the therapeutic applications such as wound healing or tissue regeneration. Who motivated the most in the school time? So in school time, I was so much inspired by Professor APJ Abdul Kalam, who was the 11th President of India and the Indian aerospace scientist. So that motivates me during my school time. And apart from that, the leading women scientists such as Kiran Majumdar-Shaw and Kalpana Chawla, these were the women who inspired me the most when I was in my young age. So apart from this, I am very much grateful to my family members who are very supportive and help me always to achieve my goals. And the major turning point, that I have faced and how I overcome the same. So the turning points are there in everyone's life, whether it is a male or a female, I would say. So I also faced those problems in my life, but that never affected me because I always go with some focused approach that whatever it is just for a time being and it will go. So we have to go with that approach and stay focused on your work, and I'm sure that if you will do that, you will achieve and nothing can come or obstacle you in your way. Okay, and these obstacles make you more strong always to achieve the goals that you set up for yourself. And my advice to all women scientists who would like to aspire their career in the STEM as well as for the school girls is that if you have an aptitude for the science and you enjoy it, you should go for it. There is no way out. And there are several roadblocks that will come in your way, but you should not be affected with those, because that will really enhance your endurance and will give you the power to do best in your life. So that will be the most satisfying thing for you. And in my opinion, there are 4 things that I would propose should be there to bridge the gender gap in the STEM. First is that women scientists should get the 5-year relaxation in their service because of several reasons. And once they join back after their career break, the schemes, more schemes, women-oriented schemes should be incorporated. And third is the alliance should be made for the career break, and the women scientists also should be included in various national and international committees. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah. Our next pitch is from our very own Dr. Suganda Maheshwari. Suganda, will you play?
Hello everyone, myself Dr. Subanda Maheshwari. I'm a mathematician by profession and by choice at IIT Roorkee, and I'm fond of various outreach activities, may it be in person mode or virtual mode, and my research is around blueprints, which has close connections with physics, chemistry, engineering sciences, and it has strong connection with representation theory. One of the most prominent applications is in the coding theory, which is integral for all sort of safe communications. I have got best in class scholarships and fellowships, may it be at graduation or post-graduation level, or for my PhD as well as postdoctoral research work. I've also been an INYAS member, where I'm serving as core committee member now. I do have some good number of publications as well as software package to my credit. And I've also been invited for several conferences internationally and also for outreach programs. Well, choosing a career in STEM was an obvious choice because of my love for mathematics and passion for teaching, which decided my path. So the people who have inspired me most, the first one has to be my grandfather, who told me stories of Kiran Bala and Kalpana and believed in girl education and prioritized it over anything. But advancing in life, the biggest source of inspiration were women around me, my mother, my supervisor, my colleagues, where I saw them juggling between so many roles and still doing the best. Well, no one's journey is an always smooth journey, and my case is no different. I also had the roadblocks that we generally face. It's just that I was never ready to compromise on professional or personal duties, and hence I looked ways to manage and balance the two. For instance, my 7-month-old munchkin accompanied me for international conferences and research visits, and now my younger one is ready to fly as well. So just set your priorities, be navigator of your own life, and don't be driven by the circumstances. Gender gap is definitely there. The data say it clearly, and there are ways we can work about it. No reason holds back women from taking a career in STEM, mostly except for inhibitions that their minds have, which are deep rooted. And we should have more of women celebrities. I believe to have women in STEM, we need more women in STEM. Reaching out to people who have inspiring stories and being aware about them will definitely have a positive impact. And these include the young ones from INYAS as well as my WiSDom team. Then there should also be policies that we should be aware of and have more of them, to be using them fullest and to have and where the women empowerment need not be required. It should not be additional empowerment that we will look for. My advice to young girls will be to have an understanding of what are the pros and cons of being a woman in STEM. And having said that, I would really like to put some checkpoints for them in terms of sincerity and hard work which is needed. If you have an aptitude in science and enjoy it, just step into it. But it should come from within, not because of any external factor that will fade away sometime. And you have not to be worried about the roadblocks that will definitely come your way. A career in STEM needs a lot of patience and consistent hard work, though it is quite satisfying. So positive attitude and constant effort-making habit has to be there. Mathematics also teaches every problem has a solution. Just be patient and consistent to find it. There should be a zeal to progress. Don't settle for less. Contentment is really detrimental for progress. Voice yourself. Build a support system for yourself with family, friends, colleagues. everybody around you. A career in STEM is highly recommended, though it demands patience and consistent hard work. It's a never-ending learning process. Most importantly, love yourself. Embrace well all the roles that you play. Don't be guilty of being ambitious. Enjoy being feminine. Don't crib about it. Have all your rights in guilt-free manner. Be strong within. Count on what you have, not what you do not have. Be positive. Keep rising. Keep shining. Be a role model for yourself and your future generations. And my thanks extends to INYAS, DST Inspire, as well as IIT Roorkee.
Thank you, Sugandha. Actually, double thanks, Sugandha. And now we come to the last pitch of today's session. Dr. Veda Krishnan. It's definitely going to be equally inspiring. Dr. Veda is currently at ICAR IARI. Over to you.
On behalf of INYAS and WiSDom, a warm welcome. I am Dr. Veda Krishnan. I am a scientist at Indian Agriculture Research Institute, New Delhi. To connect you to my institute, I can say that I work in the fields where Green Revolution was born. As part of the mandate, I am involved in research, teaching and extension. Biofunctional foods which can be of particular importance, like the low glycemic food, the vitamin D enriched food and so on. Also, in line with the breeders, we are involved in developing newer varieties of superior nutritional quality. By metabolic engineering, we are developing transgenic crops and also certain processes to alter the nutritional quality. So what motivated me to get into this career from school time? So if I see myself, I can say that I was always a curious student. I always asked why, and I needed a logical explanation, and I think science was something that always gave me a reason for it. And that's why I got attracted to science. And many more, when I gauge myself, I can understand that I cannot do any monotonous job. I cannot enjoy that. So I always want something that always inspiring me, challenging me. So science is a mystery. So we can peel off the layer by layer. And I think that's what I enjoy, and that's why I got attracted to science. And why I chose science as my career, I think many people say that they were not sure about what they want to become. But I was really sure that I wanted to become a scientist or to pursue research. It was mainly because I hail from the southernmost state of our country, Kerala. And during my high school studies, I was selected for a program called Promotion of Excellence Among Gifted Children. And 2 years, I got an opportunity to interact with real life scientists. First time we are meeting a scientist at that time, professors. It was a team of handful of students from government schools, and we interacted with them, and then we discussed scientific paradoxes. We visited science universities, we did small experiments. I think that would kickstart in my life that I decided that I want to pursue research in my life. Inspirations, motivation, definitely science career is a marathon, and you really need inspirations as well as catalyst in my life, in everybody's life. And for me as a biochemist, I can say bio is my father and chemistry is my mother. My father, who motivated me, always valued my decisions, groomed me as an ambitious girl, where my mother is a connection to chemistry. Mama was a chemistry teacher, and my imprints of chemistry came from my mother. She's a dedicated and selfless teacher I ever have seen in my life. And the catalysts were the teachers in my life, the mentors in different stages of life. I'm really thankful to them. Turning points of my life, when I reflect my life, I think the decisions I made in my life was a real turning point. Because sometimes you go with the race, but I always tried not to follow the crowd. Even though I was a good student, I didn't opt for entrance examinations, especially the engineering. And when I cleared FMC, I decided not to go for it. I got some tempting opportunities like a government job at the age of 18. For a middle class family, I know it's very important, but still I opted out that. So these certain decisions were the real turning point in my life. Gender gap, definitely it is there. We are all working in a male dominated spaces, but I think despite the gender, you have to make your imprints as an individual and let science grow. That is very important. So know your worth, be a lifelong student, gain your confidence, prime yourself. That is very important. And also you need a wonderful support system. And that can be the sisterhood that you develop along with your career. That is very important. The support system in your family. Those two things actually, I think, that can help you much more to bridge the gender gap because you can give more time to your research. You can involve more only if you have a support system. And The advice, definitely it's a marathon. You need to have long, persistence and strong laser focus to achieve your dream. The passion, the scientific temperament is very necessary. It is not just a job. That inner calling has to be there. And also, again, I am telling that you are not a superwoman. You are a woman with lot of options to care others, opportunities. But whenever you need to lean on in your family, then also help support from others. Let them know that this profession is important to you also. That is very important. Then only you can bridge the gap, then only you can get more into the STEM career. That is very important. And last, I want to say that bolder, higher and together, it is very important. And behind the success of any woman, there are women. And I would like to thank these two wonderful women in my life. Thank you.
Thank you, Veda, and thank you to all the people who recorded their pitches and shared with us. It has indeed been a very interesting and illuminating journey. So let's go on to the question and answer session for the last speakers. I think there are only 3 of them left. And I thought instead of asking for concluding remarks, I'll just juggle it up a bit. And one aspect that I think we have only hinted at, not really talked about, is that we have really a very intersectional society. So, and I think the last session really explains a bit of that. So let's start with Dr. Shalani Arya. And in the context of intersectionality, I would like to ask Shalani that, along with gender, what were the other barriers, and did they, add to it, or did they dismantle to it in your journey? Shalani?
Yes, thank you so much for this question. Yeah, especially for me, apart from gender, yes, despite of me excelling mathematics, it was very traditional thinking around my surrounding that girls cannot go for engineering. Although I got, admission in very top reputed engineering college, but I had to quit because others forced me to quit because it was not for girls during those days. Because after doing engineering, you would go to, the industry would never hire girls. So that was the one. But apart from that, especially for me, I faced, as I mentioned, the poverty. When you don't have, access to the technology, and, INYAS and other organizations like DST are taking so good initiatives so that, the opportunities are informed to the students. So nowadays, children knows everything. They are so tech savvy and they know all the information. But during my days, I did not knew any information, like in the rural, and now we have this new setup, special initiative by INYAS. So, we are able to reach every small child in the village. But during my time, it was not possible. So I always, had that wish that, if I could have had an opportunity to hear better opportunities, I definitely would have been, somewhere. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Arya. I think Dr. Sonu could not stay with us longer. So moving on to Dr. Suganda. Suganda, I would like to ask you, I'm sure at many stages in your career, you were probably the only woman in a maths class, right? And as a mathematician, if all of us say that we have issues, I'm sure they are compounded for you. So would you like to say something in that respect?
Well, to be very honest, I did not face so much of problems studying mathematics as such. I always had a good company of students around me. But yes, there have been times where the judgment was like, okay, mathematics, girls can't be doing mathematics. Such kind of things is something that have come up my way. But I've always taken that very lightly. And so it was not a problem as such, but what you are saying is right. And my supervisor herself is a female. So like, as I said, She was a role model for me as well. And especially at Punjab University, the mathematics department has a good number of female faculty. So particularly for me, it was never such a thing. But yes, what you said makes sense for most of the cases. And I realized only after a certain level that there are fewer females in mathematics. So it was not a roadblock for me. But having heard from Professor Godwale also when we released this week compendium, and so it is only at the later stage that I realized there are less women in mathematics, and this is also one of the reasons why I like to do outreach, and I really want people to get into mathematics and broadly into STEM also. There are events where we like to bring out the beauty of mathematics to people and try to convince them it is not as scary as you might be thinking. The methods need to be better at times. The thinking needs to be changed at times. So yeah, that is my message.
Thank you, Suganda. Rightly said. It is, of course, us around as well. It's great that you have had inspiring, journey. But I do think that, as you said, that's why you do outreach, to be there visible for others as well. I now move on to Dr. Veda Krishnan. And maybe, Veda, I would like to ask you about, politics, policy making and science, because, you already mentioned Green Revolution in your talk. And I think that's a part that's going to come up again and again with climate change, with GMO, with so on and so forth. So, often, and, we are changing, we are moving towards more women in schools, colleges. And earlier, I think Pooja had mentioned about leadership roles. And we are really lacking women often in policy-making positions. And would that be something that you would like to have a remark on?
Thank you, Durba, for this nice question. First of all, I want to congratulate the INYAS team to make the STEM women visible. So I think this is the first step. I think the policy people are already listening us, and we have given the clues that what more need to be included so that we can also encroach into these male-dominated spaces. I think if we see the last few decades, we were limited because of the social fabric of our country. As Dr. Shalani mentioned, that certain disciplines were actually, specialized or considered as only for men. But now we know that we are more penetrated into each and every domain that we know till date. So I think this is the time that we have to take, the role, the leadership role. And I think the men around us, the wonderful gentlemen around us, will support in that, help us to groom so that we can be the next leaders that the society demands. Because we are the wonderful talent pool, and it's not much explored. Also, we can create, we can imagine, we can do many things. And please give us a space to prove ourselves. So that's what we can tell the policy people. And I think there are more initiatives coming through Gati and many more programs where we are getting more options as well as, support, professional as well as personal support, like Dr. Nishima mentioned. All these things are important because if we want to work 24/7, really we need support from the other end as policy, as well as family and many more. So I think the time is here. So it's only that we have to take that action and let's do it and let's be visible. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Veda. That was great. I will take one more question, this time from the YouTube channel, and I'll leave it open so anybody could take that question. So this is from Rizgin Wangmo, who's recently completed their class 12th, and they want to know whether they should go and do a BTech or a BSc, So they say that, yes, I know that we have to pursue the field we are interested in, but what if we are interested in both? And I think that's a very wonderful question because, Veda, you also mentioned the overlap, the interdisciplinary aspect. So maybe you or someone else can answer this part of the question.
Yeah, one point I want to mention him or her. Sorry, I didn't hear the name. So it's like, where are you seeing yourself in the next 5 years or 10 years? I think that will be the right kind of, judgment. And then I think he or she can get certain advices from both the domains. Some people who are already into that domain and know the merits and demerits of the domain. and then I think they can like finally listen to their heart, that where they want to, like whether it's a BSc research based or a faculty based career or an engineering into a corporate or into a technology. So it's actually at the end it is that what you want to become in the future.
Thanks, Veda. I see a couple of more hands. Neha, you had raised. Okay.
So I wanted to say, when it's always a choice between BTech and BSc, the very first thing is kuch bhi karo, but be best in whatever you do. Give your heart and soul into whatever you do. It's not about BTech, it's not about BSc, it's about giving and learning. So once you have learned, the base is ready. So whatever you want to do in future, you can do. Even after BTech, you can do MSc. Even after BSc, you can go and pursue, after BSc, you can go and pursue MSc and MTech. So it's not that it's not, science and technology is separate. Without science, technology is not possible, and without technology, science is not possible. So it goes hand in hand. So whatever you do, do your best. It's not about the degree.
Thank
That
you,
is my
Neha.
suggestion.
Yeah, very well said. Suganda, you want to add to it?
I should have lowered my hand because Neha said what I wanted to say. Do whatever you feel like. Ultimately, you will be able to land wherever you want to. With time, you will realize, even after doing BTech, I've seen so many people entering into research and doing well. And so that was the same thing I had to just replicate. I should have lowered my hand. Over to you, Shalini.
This is like a very important question that comes into mind of every student during their journey. And as rightly said by Neha, I would like to give quickly one example. One of my friend wanted to send his son to IIT because the son was very, very bright and very good, very good in all the subjects, including mathematics. But the student had a dream of going to ICER, okay, and then he chose to go for BSc, despite of he having lot many opportunities. So what I mean to say here is, what is your dream or what is your goal, what you would like to do in your life is also important. So based on that, you can choose. And as Neha, Suganda, and everybody has said that the creating an opportunity is in our hand, no matter what stream it is. So go for it, and all the best.
Thank you, Shalini. I know in the interest of time, I'm just hurrying up everything because we're already running over time. So yeah, so any last words from anybody else? And if not, I would like to hand over the mic to Suganda for the vote of thanks.
Thanks, Durba. So it's very nice session that has been conducted. It was more or less like a celebration that we have come, we have traveled this journey, and there were so many relatable points. So it was very enjoyable for me. Hope it was same for you, and it was teamwork which led to this event. So my thanks are due to first and foremost our immediate past chair, Dr. Chandra Shekhar Sharma from IIT Hyderabad, who actually who actually initiated about these flagship events, WiSDom being one of them, oriented for women in science. And thanks to him for confiding in me for heading this as a CC, along with Dr. Rajni, who helped me in all the coordination work. And besides CC, Dr. Nishat Fatima and Dr. Nishima Wangu has been my strongest support pillar in this process. Then Durba and Kiran, they have been coordinators, and they have been doing everything for this particular event, Trailblazers. So my thanks goes to them. My thanks goes to INYAS for supporting this event and other events. So my thanks are also for Dr. Rajendra Dhaka, who is currently chairing INYAS and who has always given a free hand for the event and has allowed all the smooth activities related to this event and others also which are forthcoming. A special thanks to Dr. Diksha Gupta, who readily accepted our invitation. She was our first and foremost choice for being here, as she is suitably a role model for this age group. So many thanks to Dr. Diksha Gupta, though she is not present here. She has a very inspiring story and I'm also a very big admirer of her. Then I thank all the speakers for the wonderful pitches that they have given, for sparing their time and for speaking out, for coming out with their success stories and so many takeaway messages that they shared with us, which were not only learning for the young people, young aspirants, but for each one of us present here. And a special thanks to Gauri Sharma, student of Dr. Nishima, for editing these videos to cut them down more or less to 3 minutes or around 3 minutes, because all of us had so much to speak and she really had hard time in squeezing these videos and bringing us in a shorter form. Thanks to
I think Suganda is frozen.
Yes, ma'am, there are network issues, I guess. I'll text her once.
Okay, so in the meantime, let me take this opportunity to also say that Dr. Neha Sardana has shared a feedback form in the chat box, and we will be very happy if you give us feedback. Ananya, can I also request you to take that feedback form and also post it on the YouTube channel? Because I think there are a couple of young, motivated students over there. Yeah. So on behalf of Sugandha and the team, till Sugandha joins, I thank you all for today's session. It has indeed been an interesting journey. And as Sugandha said, if nothing else, it has increased, the family of Vinyas more. I hope that, we have inspired some more people to join, for them to think that it's not that you have to have this crazy hair, long beard to be a scientist. But even more than that, it has really inspired me to have my big Vinyas team. So a big hug to all of you. Thank you all. Thank you, everyone. Over and out.
Thank you, Durva, and thank you, Kiran. You both have been lovely moderators. I mean, you have excelled. Thanks for making this session so lively, and thanks, Rajendra, for being the pillar of support for the WiSDom events. Thank you, everyone who's part of this. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. I think it was a great teamwork. Everyone did fabulous job, and this will, I'm sure, will have great impact, positive impact on young girl students, and in fact for all young students, I would say. I have learned so many things from this session. So
you should promise that next time you will bring all men from at least INYAS.
Well, I have tried all my best.
Thank you, Arun, for being there. I think Dr. Putin was also there. So thank you. I mean,
thank you, ma'am, and thank you everyone for organizing this wonderful event. I learned a lot from all of you. This was a great opportunity. I think that more members would be there, but hopefully next time they will participate in the programs. But this is a wonderful program.
Thank you.
I'm sure when they will watch this, I'm sure they will when they will watch this on YouTube, they will realize it.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Thank you.
And it was very nice to listen all of you.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm back. I don't know at what point I left. I think I could thank Gauri and then I got disconnected. My thanks is also for Ananya for technical things. Yeah, but let's have a picture if it is not taken so far.
Yes, please, a group picture. That would be great.
Please, I'm back for that only. So, who is taking the picture?
I'm clicking that, ma'am. So, in the go of 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful pictures. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Wonderful
Bye.
session. I'll share the pictures. Bye.
Thank you.